Anyone on council, thoughts or concerns? All right.
I have a motion to close.
Wait, we need to vote on that first. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Wait.
You were in public hearing, weren't you?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead. I screwed up.
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
Okay, Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson,
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Right. Your Honor, I have a motion for preliminary adoption of the first reading of an ordinance amending various sections of Chapter 73 speed regulations in the Burlington Municipal Code.
Second.
Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, and next.
Your Honor,
Oh, sorry.
if I may,
Yeah.
could I suggest that maybe we waive the next reading and go to final?
On the 70th, the speed regulations? Yeah, absolutely. Is everybody all right with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay, make the amendment. Right?
Next
We'll
meeting.
have to
Next
wait.
meeting.
Next
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, next meeting.
To make note
Sorry.
for the next meeting.
Oh, I thought you meant right now. I thought.
That would have it happen
Moving and
before.
grooving here. Okay, sorry
not
about
sure we
that, I
can
misunderstood. Number 4 would be a consideration of a permanent encroachment agreement with with Great River Casino Resort LLC for encroachment into the city right-of-way at 3001 Weingard Drive, Burlington, Iowa.
This is an existing encroachment, just simply a transfer to new owners with Casino Huckleberry Holdings transferring ownership to Great River Casino Resort LLC. The encroachment agreements require a new encroachment agreement with the new owner. So this applies to some light poles that are right on the parking line, just on the, with the property lines there, and then some directional signage within the complex there, directing traffic throughout the area there. So no new items are placed. This is all existing items that have been there for the last 10 years, an existing encroachment, just updating it with the new property owner.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience has any thoughts or concerns? Council, any thoughts or concerns? I'd accept the motion.
Your Honor, I have a motion to close.
Second.
Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson,
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
All right, Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing a permanent encroachment agreement with the Great River Casino Resort LLC for encroachment into city right-of-way at 3001 Weingard Drive, Burlington, Iowa.
Second.
Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson.
Aye.
Phillips.
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, next up, resolution.
Your Honor, I have a resolution approving removal of the school zone on Mason Road.
Second.
Mr. McGregor?
This resolution comes as a follow-up conversation to some of the ordinance changes. The Public Works Department and the Police Department had a meeting with the school district, and we discussed some of the school zones that we believe that maybe could be altered. In front of you is a resolution that would remove the school zone on Mason Road that occurs just to the northwest and southeast of Sequoia. So upon approval, we would remove the signage, and speed limit would resume to the current non-school time speed limits throughout the day. So as we discussed with the school district on kind of the use of the school, or the speed zone through there, the installation of trail network and sidewalks have altered some of the way that kids go about getting to that school, so.
Plus, there's no one on the other side of the road. Okay. Anyone in the audience have any thoughts or concerns? Council, thoughts or concerns?
Just in case you didn't see the email thread from Mike Campbell, he was asking about doing something similar on Division Street. And I did tell him that we had discussed that, and that the superintendent was not in favor of that action. Is that correct?
So we did discuss the Division Street school zone The superintendent just was relaying the message from the school board. It was just his email that I just wanted to capture. But the school board believed that that school zone should stay in place.
Okay. Just want to make that clear, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Let's vote.
Weiss,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Phillips,
Aye.
Kreitzer,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Okay, now we're gonna come back to this budget discussion and possible actions, budget-related items. Mr. Byrd.
All right, thank you. So just coming out of our budget work session and a little bit of conversation at the work session last week, there's just a few more things that I want to kind of clarify, review, and then ask for some additional direction from council. I had sent out just kind of a cover memo on ongoing budget discussion items, so I wanted to review that. First of all, changes to the hotel motel fund, revenue fund. That does include, or I'm clarifying that I have removed the auditorium floor. That was listed in there at about $200,000. Just removing that in favor of more research and information as to the needs, the cost, and a presumptive repair on that. So I just think that needs a little more time. Once we gather that information, and staff jumped right in, they met with BRE down there, and they kind of walked the site. This is actually something that we talked about several years ago. So we are gathering that information. I don't know that we'll work on it into this budget cycle, but we'll at least get that information back to you and begin planning that. So, and then just clarifying that I added the Arts Collective initiative that the mayor has put forth and talked to the council about several times. That's in there at 3% of the fund, or $33,000. An agreement, a resolution to that effect would come. So even if that's in there, you'll still have to consider and discuss and approve that action separately at some point in time.
Can I flesh that out a little bit too?
Sure.
In the Arts Collective, you know, I've had discussions with their principals and Mr. Byrd. Those funds we would get an accounting at the end of the year wrap-up about what they spent and where. They know that those funds can't go to Fort Madison Arts Association, who's part of the collective, or the Legacy Theater, which is in Carthage, as well as the Nightcap Lounge, which is a bar. So none of those funds that we would authorize if we vote for this would go to those three organizations, and we would get an accounting at the end of the year. They'd be more than willing to address that. The goal would be for them is not for operations, but for advertising to drive more and more people to the events like Jazz Fest and Snake Alley Art Fair and all that stuff. So that's the intent of that. So, you know, I proposed it, so I'll be honest, I'm in favor of it. And this is discussion, we'll have discussion tonight, and also, we still have the 7th, is that correct? Is that the right number?
February 9th
9th.
is our work session.
Which will be our,
Yep.
another work session to work on budget, so.
And then as we proceed through the calendar, once we start publication and public hearings and that type of thing, once we're into that road, you can't add to things, but you can always bring them out. And as I've said before too, even during our day-long session, just because something's in the budget doesn't mean it has to happen. There's lots of times when, especially for capital items, I'll bring it back with staff to reaffirm the purchase, even though it's in the budget, because maybe even for staff, things change. We've seen in the last year, things change with snowplows and trucks and things like that. And so anyway, yes.
And the other reason I propose this, council, is just because I feel it's the right source rather than coming out of general fund. What I didn't like about the way council had it set up before, and we kind of inherited it, was, you know, only certain groups were getting money, and it was varying amounts. This way, we're just going to the collective. We're not picking the winners and who gets what. That'll be up to them to decide, and it's coming out of hotel motel tax, so our visitors are actually paying for this support rather than out of the general fund, and that's why I proposed it this way. So what Mr. Byrd's asking for is, you know, we didn't really give him any commenting on any of these items, so give him some yays or nays, or thoughts or concerns, and so he knows how to go forward. Is that accurate?
That's right.
Okay.
And I am working on a draft memorandum of understanding specifically regarding the Arts Collective. So as I said, that'll come back for council approval for the memorandum via resolution whenever the time is right for that. So I'm recommending the Recplex projects, including the clubhouse upgrade, the batting cage demolition project, and playground. We had talked about those, and so I'm leaving those in there. That brings the final hotel motel fund balance to 15.99%, or $224,000. Fund balance projected at the end of the year.
Those are just demolition and tear down of the playground, right?
It would be addition, it would replace it. So
Replace it,
remove
okay.
and replace.
I
yeah.
thought I said just demo, I didn't say.
Demo the batting cages.
Okay, gotcha.
And that playground is original to the facility, and my understanding is it needs to come out regardless of what we do. 'cause
Right.
Yeah,
it's,
so demo would be
safety.
required.
Yeah, demo's
no matter
required on
what.
that one.
And it does receive quite a bit of use.
It
am I correct?
does.
Like, when kids are out there, they play on it the whole time,
Every
right?
time I've been out there for softball, it's packed with kids.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So-
So that's it on hotel
Do you
motel,
want
so
thoughts and
just,
concerns on these as we go, or how do you want?
yeah, absolutely, yep.
Okay, so let's go back
Now's
to-
the time, so.
Let's go, let's go back to the Arts Collective, so you have, first of all, is everyone okay with the auditorium floor being removed?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
until further
We figure out.
discussion
Until we get
and
more,
research
okay.
and, yeah.
Arts Collective, any thoughts or concerns there? Please express them.
Yeah.
All in favor?
I still have a hard time giving away tax dollars in this fashion. I mean, we had, at one time, we had ads in the battered women's shelter, and I believe it was the homeless shelter that we give about half this amount to, and the council through its, out of necessity, pulled that funding. And I feel we're headed in the same direction. But, I mean, that's just my feelings on it.
I feel that 3% is fair, and that number is gonna fluctuate based on the amount of people that stay in our hotels and motels. So if they bring more people in, there's reward, and if they don't draw anybody in, there's nothing there. So, I mean, it's not a set amount, and it depends on their performance. And I do think that the arts do bring people to Burlington, and it's important to have other people help us pay to keep the lights on, so to speak. So I would be in favor of it.
Okay, Annie, we're gonna vote on it, folks, because it'll have to come as a resolution. Annie, thoughts?
I think that it's a great way to help utilize our hotel motel tax fund, the taxes that people are charged when they stay in hotels and motels, to kind of putting it back into encouraging people to come here and spend time here. I know I've done that, and I feel like the majority of the people in this room have also been somewhere else and stayed in a hotel or a motel. Whether or not those cities had that tax, I don't know, but I know the majority of the places I've been do have those taxes, and it's often to help support organizations like this that kind of re-encourage more and more visitors. So I think it's only for a benefit for our community, for Burlington, Iowa, for 52601.
Thoughts, Kate?
I'm all in favor. I'd give a higher percentage if we could, but because I think those are the quality of life things that make living in this community more than just a daily grind.
So you got the framework
Okay.
to work on, and then we'll vote on it as a resolution. The Recplex playground demo, give me the whole list again.
Yeah,
things?
so if for the Recplex, there were 3 projects. It's
Yes.
clubhouse upgrade,
Okay,
and again, what's that facility, 26 years old, 27 years old, so.
and that's not building the new,
Nope, that's
Concession,
not building
just-
the new concession
okay,
stand, which is
gotcha.
kind of out on one of the fields. So this is renovating and upgrading the clubhouse and the batting cage demo. And the perspective on the batting cage demo is that that facility is just not used in the same way as when it was first installed. So it would be removing that completely at
and
this
then
time.
replacing the playground.
And then replacing the playground, which is up near the clubhouse.
Okay.
Can you tell me what the total is for the Recplex versus the Arts Collective? Just for the public's,
Yeah.
I think we have it.
Just those things
I
that
know
we
we
talked
have it.
about there.
It's projected like 33 grand for the arts, right?
right, but I'm,
That, yeah, the 3% is 33,000
Uh-huh.
for the Arts Collective. Just those 3 things for the Recplex is 120,000.
okay. I just wanted that to be known. The Recplex, which the city does own, operate, more than the Arts Collective.
And to be clear, just if you're going down that road, the
Yep.
total expenditures out of the hotel motel fund's 1.4 million. So
Great.
there's a lot of other stuff in there.
Oh,
too,
yeah.
right?
No,
So-
I get
So,
that.
On that issue, to give staff, we're okay, or, what's everybody feeling about the clubhouse upgrade, playground replacement, and batting cage demo?
Good.
Needs to be
I would
done.
say that if there was more pushback on the Arts Collective, then I would push back on the Recplex. So right now, I'm good.
Okay? Good?
Right, well, the longer we wait, the more it costs, right, so.
Good. Now, will this be a resolution too?
No,
Okay.
these will be part of the budget and they'll
All right.
be stamped
Okay,
in
well,
there,
you
so.
got 5 yays. Go ahead. What else you got?
Okay, so if there isn't anything else for the hotel motel, then I would move to the local option sales tax fund,
Fire away.
unless there's other questions on hotel motel. All right. So one thing that I didn't talk about a whole lot in the last couple of sessions regarding hotel motel is the Economic Development Advisory Commission Fund. Typically for the last 10 years probably or so, $50,000 has come out of the local option sales tax fund into, well, since 2014 to be specific, 50,000 has come out of local option sales tax fund and is set aside for the Economic Development Advisory Board to do economic development related activities as they might see fit, as a recommendation to council to spend that money, and then it comes to you to approve the expenditure. And right now, that fund is sitting on an available balance of about $225,000. And I guess in my opinion, they're not really seeing any projects coming in the next couple of years. And so I recommend we just pull that $50,000 back and not put it into that fund where it just sits there.
No, we're
When-
not contracted?
I'm sorry?
We're not contracted or anything?
We're not obligated.
We have a couple pending commitments, but even with those pending commitments, the available balance is $225,000.
Okay.
So again, that was something we hadn't really talked about in detail, but I do recommend,
We're giving
so,
them 50,000 a year and they're sitting on 225.
yes.
So
with-
pretty much 5 years worth of funding at least.
Well, depends on the
paid it all.
project, so I would read a list of just the projects that they've funded in the last 6 years, going back to Downtown Partners, 300 Washington Street, the city gave them $20,000, that project, $20,000. Greater Burlington CVB Sports Marketing Study in 2019, $3,500. And more recently now, the Burlington STEM Foundation Children's Museum in fiscal '23 at $50,000. Burlington Community Schools Career Labs fiscal '23, $97,500. The Courts Project, Greater Burlington Area Sports, fiscal '23, $38,000. And the Greater Burlington Partnership for the Partnering for the Future campaign. That's a total of $75,000 over 5 years. So far, we've given $45,000. There's $30,000 still outstanding. So those are some of the projects. Western Smokehouse is still one of the high-quality jobs local match is still a pending, and that's at 40,000. So
Okay.
those are some of the projects in the last several years.
So council, thoughts and concerns about clawing that back for this year?
I would say for this year, maybe we can have it as a note to revisit it every year until maybe they pick up
Use
some
some
more
of it.
projects or,
It would be your recommendation.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. Mr. Scott?
Yeah, I'm on that board. And the board actually asked for an increase in funding because of the limited funds. The whole idea of that was to generate jobs that paid better than what the average wage was in Burlington, Iowa. It wasn't meant to be giving to places like the courts and the STEM and those type of projects that they were given to. And I give them, when I got on that committee, I let them know what the original reason for that set aside was. And that was for the creation of jobs. And that when a new business come to town and was looking for matching funding for projects, we had it readily available. And that's why we were building that up. And back in the day, it was 5% of the local option sales tax is what was going into that fund, and not just $50,000. And it built up rather quickly. And unfortunately, even back then, it got misused because it was the only thing that the city had to fall back on at the time.
When it's creation of jobs though, I mean, is there a parameter for what the job wage level is? Because unless there's parameters there, I mean, you could say the courts brought jobs.
Yes, there was.
Okay.
It was better than minimum wage, or better than average wages. It was meant for higher
Which is
paid
what
jobs.
Smokehouse
So
did.
it's solely based on wages, not on if the family who's
We need to
maybe
dust that
moving
off
here
a little bit.
cares about children, about their activities their children are in, or housing. Like, that's a really broad statement. Just wages, that's all anybody cares about.
Those manufacturing jobs. and
Again,
wages and-
Like, but is that all anyone cares about, is just wages? Do they care about the housing?
I'm just
within the
saying that's
parks?
what it was set up to be.
Originally.
when-
Right,
when
I
the
get
decision
that.
was made, so.
I get that, but is that outlined in any sort
Well,
of?
it's called economic development, right? So,
They do have a giving policy, but again, they have kind of wavered
Wavered
over
off
the
that.
last 10, 15
So
years in
in
different
the
things.
policy,
so.
it says competitive wages or,
well, I was gonna ask, since you're on the board, Tim, do you guys kind of set those guidelines and try to get back on track, or it's just kind of?
Yeah, we had that discussion and the next organization that come before us asking for funding did not meet
Okay,
that. It was
what was
It
their?
was for an absolute awesome project, but that wasn't what those funds were designed for.
Right, so they asked for an increase, though, we're talking about pulling it, but I'm interested in what the reasoning for an increase would be if we're not
So that
using the 50 that's there now.
So that the funding is available should a manufacturing
Right.
opportunity come forward.
Is this?
I think any manufacturing opportunity coming forward is gonna ask for a lot more than $500,000, unfortunately. Just based off of my current knowledge and involvement in manufacturing, like,
Well, and a lot of times, like with the current one that's being funded, it's a local match to a state program, right? And that has been a
It's
really
picked up
successful,
Our local match, basically.
right, to a state program.
Can-
And so
can I
that's
make
been a
a-
really successful program.
Can I make a suggestion for this year? Because it sounds to me like we really need to refocus on what that committee,
absolutely.
how that was set up and how that is, and we have someone sitting on there. What about pulling that funding for this year? Reviewing the organization and the way those funds are used and how it's to be outlined, because everything changes over a period of time. Give that committee time to relook at their mission statement, and adapt it to today's world, and I don't know what that means necessarily, but to look at it again fresh. And then they could come back to us and say, okay, here's what we want to do from this point forward. And then we could decide to reinstitute the funding next year. Maybe it is a percentage rather than a flat amount.
Yeah.
But it would have to be credible. I think, if I remember right, I think the reason they ratcheted it down to 50 is because they were getting too much money and it was being used and it wasn't seeing real
Inappropriate,
effectiveness.
Well, and I think just from my perspective, looking at the calendar as to
Yeah.
when we started ratcheting that back, we needed the money elsewhere,
Well, it's probably
right?
true.
Because prior to that, you were dumping almost $200,000 a year into that fund.
And the one
I
last
remember that
question,
discussion.
the
Yeah.
amount that's there now, would that just stay in that fund?
It
for when
will.
They do need
Yep,
it, so.
that's
there-
right.
You said 235?
It's about 224.
224, so they have
It's earmarked for them.
224 that's still earmarked if they need it. I mean, at the current rates, that's over 4 years of funding. So if they come with an ask, at least that's there. And then if they ask and we offer that to them, then we can kick that 50 back in on our next budget season so that we replenish that. But right now, they're at a good point where they can ask and we're not saying no because it's there. But then in the future, as that works its way back down, we could revisit it, right? I mean, it gives
So
us time.
if I
guess-
might suggest
Yeah,
too, I
go
mean,
ahead.
you're not going to solve their policy problems tonight.
Right.
You
want to know about the 50.
Yeah, I'm just interested in the
Like, I
$50,000,
just have the one
right?
question.
So, and I acknowledge, yeah, one time, or a 1 year, right? We can then ask them to revisit their mission and their policy and come back to you next year at budget time.
Well, I guess without us knowing what the original intent was, I mean, Mr. Scott's kind of our historian on that, but I do remember that discussion because they were getting funds and they weren't being utilized. And that's why they clawed it back, and because we needed it elsewhere. I would like to see us go back to the drawing board on that organization and start, and so for this year, rather than add more funds, if they have a project comes up, we can have a special meeting, we can decide.
Well, they have funds,
Yeah.
so.
So I would say that for this year, I guess I would be in support of clawing it back. But along with that is the piece that, hey, we think it's important, but we want you to redefine what your mission is. Because it's been years ago, we don't have the original agreement in front of us, and they have gotten off track on that. So let's ask for a revision, put them to work.
Can you provide that?
That policy statement? Yeah.
Yeah,
What
and absolutely.
steps-
Can, and
Hang on.
that commission does look at it
Sorry, I didn't-
annually anyway, so.
And it's not the commission's policy, it's the
Okay.
council's policy.
Okay.
Right, yeah,
This
they're
was
just
established-
following
it was
whatever they
established by
were
policy.
told to
It
do.
was
Oh,
established by
look, we
council,
don't know what
not
that
by the-
policy is.
Here comes
Well,
the
what we
money.
can do is look at the ordinance. It's in the
Yeah.
city's
Let's do that.
ordinance, is how the board was formed, so, I mean, and then we have a policy that we share with the economic development
Okay.
director. So he knows what we might be able to give if he has a project, right? That's where that policy comes from with the matching, local matches.
Well, since we don't
But
have.
if you
it-
guys want to do something different with the economic board, it starts with you and looking at the ordinance and what you want to change and how you direct us and what you want us to do.
And I'm not advocating doing away with the board or anything
No,
like
I'm
that,
not
right?
saying that, but
They-
I
yeah.
also am saying that it would appear none of us know exactly what was in that original ordinance. We need to
Yeah,
dust
I'll
that off
send
and
that
look
to
at
you.
it,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, until we make a decision, I'm fine with suspending it for 1 year.
Yeah,
Or until we deem we have it fixed.
That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to the next issue.
Yeah,
please.
okay. Thanks.
so we can
Yeah, all right. So, thank you for that. That is actually some good discussion. So, a couple of things that I talked about during the work session or in the follow-up meeting. The ambulance purchase, which is a full purchase, it's not a remount. And the forestry bucket truck, I'm recommending that we take to future GO bond issue because both of those vehicles will survive the bond issue. And I've talked to our financial advisor about that. That takes them out of the local option sales tax fund.
Is everybody okay with that?
yes.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got lost in the.
In the weeds? So we had an ambulance purchase in there, and that's a full ambulance. That's not a remount, so it was over $400,000. I think it was 430 something. And then the forestry bucket truck, which I think was almost $250,000, taking those out of the lost fund as a capital improvement item and putting them in a GO bond, the 2026 GO bond. I've removed the trail funding to better align with actual anticipated project work. And then a couple of things that I have a little later down on my list here too, but as part of local option sales tax, is taking the combined comprehensive plan and past parks master plan at $200,000, and I'm recommending splitting that between current fiscal year and next fiscal year, fiscal '27. And the reason for that is Eric's indicated to me that that could take 18 months to do anyway, so I'd like to get started on that. We talked about it last year. We took it out of the budget entirely last year. If it's going to take 18 months, it's going to split fiscal years somewhere anyway. So if we don't do it in fiscal '26 and we put it in fiscal '27, it's most likely going to go into fiscal '28. So we've been talking about it for a while, so I recommend we just start it, ask Eric to bring the quotes and the information via resolution. We get it started now. It might not be an even split. It's estimated at $200,000. It probably won't be an even $100,000 split between fiscal '26 and '27. Chances are, if he got it going and we got a consultant hired by April, you probably only have 2 months in fiscal '26 to pay for it anyway. It might be only $50,000 or $75,000 in fiscal '26.
How old are the plans we're operating off now?
Park plans from 1997, and comp plans 2012,
Okay.
adopted early 2012.
Still in high school.
I was 8.
You were
So,
8.
council, how you feel about splitting that or continuing or moving on with that and splitting
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
And can we remind the public that our fiscal year runs till,
July 1, June 30.
so when we're talking about splitting years, we're actually talking about like, we've got till June and then the new year starts in July because it's government.
All right, so I'm gonna, in order so we don't all talk at once, I'm just gonna go left to right as I've been doing. Tim, you okay? Annie?
I'm good.
Okay. Robert? Okay.
Okay, so we'll prepare the budget that way, and then Eric will bring that information. There's a good chance, I mean, if he doesn't get it going, or the consultant can't get started, or we get a contract signed till April, there's a good chance it goes into fiscal '28 anyway.
Well, because it's basically an 18-month project, I'm
Yeah.
fine with splitting it either way.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
okay, thank you. So then, with that work and those recommendations, that would leave the local option sales tax fund balance projected at the end of fiscal '27, which is June 30, 2027. Who can look 18 months out right now, or 17 months now, right? That would leave it at 15.45%, still meeting the city council policy reserve for that fund. And that would leave a fund balance of $914,000 in there again, June 30, 27. So, anything else on local option sales tax? I didn't have anything else, so.
Anybody?
I'm good.
Okay.
Okay, then I had just a couple of sundry items under just regular discussion. So one of them, community field CIP. I did remove the infield artificial turf improvement at $2 million from the CIP. I've taken that out of the CIP so that you won't see that there. I did leave the remaining CIP items in there for community field, but they are currently unfunded, so I haven't assigned them to anything. That would be council discretion. Maybe you don't want to do anything at this time. They're just there. And going back to some of the directive over the summer from council, you wanted to see a more broad capital improvement plan to include the auditorium and community field. That's why we put those items in there, and the library. I should have mentioned that. Because we hadn't done a very good job over the last 10 years of putting those three facilities in the CIP, and then you wanted to see an expanded 10-year CIP. Now, there's a large group of what I call unfunded, because we haven't allocated them anywhere, but you can see what staff across all of our departments see as needs coming in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, and I had a meeting with Bees board chair and their director And I told them that there's no way we would be supporting anything on the turf at this point. We're at, they have some money saved up, they would need to figure that out and invest it. I was thinking when we talked about the CIP for them was, the ADA compliance issues, those type of things, that we would be responsible as the landowner, and I've expressed that to them. Of course, they were a little disappointed, but I, basically told them they needed to figure out a way to extend their season, because bear in mind, as much as I support the bees, their season has gone from March to September, Labor Day, basically, to now it's March to right in July. And they've got at least 2-3 months that they could do some other projects to help us bring people to town. So they've been given the charge and the task by me in a discussion that, they need to get on their thinking caps, and much like we have with BRE, where they have a year-round agenda, they need to expand their agenda and try to bring more events to more things to Community Field, and to truly make it Community Field, and that can include more high school teams utilizing the field, softball, baseball. They have SEC there for 1 month. They have the wooden bat is there for about a month and a half. There's all kinds of other time that they could be utilizing. So at this point, I would prefer to leave the projects in the CIP, and they would have to ask and battle for those as they came up. Because some of them, like painting a clubhouse, we may not entertain that. That may be something that we expect them to do as our tenant. But I do think we're responsible for safety and compliance issues. And so that's where I'm at on it, guys. Tim, thoughts?
Yeah, and for like 75 years, the city had no expense on that facility. And now, with the CIP, there was about $3.3 million in there. We took out by taking out the 2.2 million, we're still $1 million in capital improvements asking for that facility, when the city had no prior expenses. The only time that the city ever had expenses out there was after the Major League Baseball decided they weren't going to support a team here any longer, and they were talking about not supporting it and demanding that certain upgrades be made. And one of those upgrades was putting that artificial canopy, shade canopy on that facility. And the management of the Bees was assured that they were going to get a grant for that, and they went ahead and made the purchases with private money and started that project. And when that funding didn't come through, the full funding didn't come through, then the city took on the responsibility of about $400,000 that truthfully, the citizens had no option, no opportunity to speak to. We bailed them out is what we did, and then it's been more and more money ever since. And they're a business, they should stand on their own.
Annie?
That's just my opinion.
No.
No, I think it's good, and, I can kind of piggyback off of, Scott. It's, it's good to see the things that they're asking for across the whole entire, organization of everybody that's umbrellaed under the city, just so we can see and the citizens can see what each, section of the city is needing and will need, especially in the 10 years. I think it's good to keep it, and for those different bodies to update and change as, each year goes by. So, it doesn't mean that we're gonna, spend all that money on turf, but it's good to know, and it's good for other people to know. Maybe somebody's really passionate about, turf, and they're just gonna donate it. Who knows? But they don't know unless They know that the bees want it. So, keep it in.
Okay, thoughts?
I'm not a sports fan at all, so I probably
Not
shouldn't even comment.
Okay. They put a lot of books in the library, sports does. Anyway, Robert, sorry.
I do agree that they do need to ramp up the number of activities at Community Field. I've pitched the idea to them before of maybe having Frisbee golf out there for a day. It seems to be a draw. I'm sure Bill Dow would love to have a course where you can throw from the tee box would be the clubhouse kind of thing. You know, or having some races, or having a thing where kids could be a baseball player for a day kind of thing. There's ideas that they could use to engage the community, but I'm not sure that we would see a return on our investment if we spent $2 million on turf. I'm not sure how that money would come back to us with any kind of return. I feel like it would be a loss, and I'm disappointed to let them down. But, I mean, I agree, being realistically, it's, you know, it's like me going to my wife asking for a new car tomorrow, I just don't have it. So,
So what, yeah, go ahead.
I would just like to say that from my point of view, that money should go to the swimming pool if we had $2 million.
Yeah. Well,
If
fair.
we had, but we don't.
we could build it out there.
so if we left the community field in the CIP, us and future councils would still have to vote on the projects.
You do, either through the budget process or as a standalone request.
So they would have to
Right.
come and make their pitch about
That's right.
why it was needed.
Yep. We will have, you know, like we've done in years past, we'll have a CIP discussion every budget year about what things get moved forward or not.
Okay. And, you know, I was the one that asked for these different things to be put on the CIP gang because after experiencing with the CIP, after the fire station deal, you know, I sat on this board, it was 6 years or 5 years, and then I heard about the fire station. Well, we've been asking for 20 years. Well, not while I was sitting here. So my goal and intent for these projects going on the CIP was for us to be aware of them, and then we could decide how we wanted to move forward with our total overall needs. So that's why, I guess that's why I would prefer that they stay out there, is because it's a lot easier to make a decision when you know all the different things about it, so. Does that
Okay.
give you anything, any tractor on?
It does, that's fantastic.
Okay,
We'll leave men unfunded,
okay.
take the field out. The next one on the list is the Parks Forestry Horticulturist position. That is currently in the Parks budget. That's something Eric and his team have asked for the last couple of years, just based on increased demand on their time, the difficulty in obtaining qualified seasonal and part-time help. And so that's in there. We do know or anticipate that there might be some additional partnership with DPI Main Street. There would also be some shifting or reorganization of the structure with staff. So maybe it's a part-time staff that doesn't happen because of this full-time position, that type of thing. So Eric can certainly fill in the gaps where I fell short,
So
but
when you're
but
saying
it's
about
in the budget.
partnership with DPI, are we talking about taking care of the flower planters
That's right.
for them? So that whatever funds they were spending, they would
Yes,
kick in on that to the city?
that's right.
So we're talking about, okay, that
Yep.
makes some sense to me. You know, if you just look at all the floral stuff put in with the Tiger Grant alone, and then also our parks, I could see where the position is needed. Thoughts, Tim?
Is this just kind of a net zero type of thing where we're trading one for the other?
No, not entirely, and I'm sorry, I don't have the number here in front of me, but no. Taking a part-time and going to that full-time, if that's what we end up doing, or with some support from DPI Main Street, if that were to come to fruition, it's not a net zero, we're still adding a staff person. But those things help soften that financial
So it's-
impact.
But it's gonna start as part-time, we think?
No,
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 it's
it's in there
Yeah,
full-time,
That's where
right?
you got me.
Yep.
Yeah, I can understand.
Any thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry, Tim, were you done?
Yeah.
No, that was just my question.
It would supplant a part-time.
I'm not opposed to that position. I just, my only other comment would be, I would feel stronger about getting the IT person over that person.
Yeah.
But I think we're talking a lot more dollars.
Yeah, and we're just not there yet in terms of the IT person discussion that the horticulturist we've been talking about for a couple of years. The IT really just kind of came up this year as we start looking at succession planning especially, in addition to the quantity of work in there. So stay tuned for that one, I guess, maybe next year.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good direction for us to move. I know that part-time and seasonal help when it comes to anything with plants, and trees, and everything like that, you know, I've had problems being butt up against the school and them spraying chemicals, not knowing what's on the other side. They're just trying to kill weeds. And so I know that having a full-time specialist can really help with, you know, the longevity of our parks and our, you know, our awards of, you know, Tree City, or Tree City, of the, yeah.
Tree world.
What's the?
Tree City of the
Or
World.
should I say
Tree
and
City of the
now?
world, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it can only be a good thing, and I think we'll eventually kind of even out. We won't be able to really see, I think, those numbers point blank, but I think it'll even out.
Thoughts, Kay?
I'm in favor of a horticulture.
I've had comments and emails in support of this, and I am also in support of it.
Okay, I guess I would be in the same thing, Mr. Bird. One of my greatest laments is when I bought my house on North Fifth, I was yanking out things that I thought were weeds, and then the person that lived there before said, "What are you doing?" And it's because I didn't know what I was
Oh, like when I
doing.
kill my hostas?
Yeah, so.
You can kill a
And
hosta?
just a real quick aside, I think, you know, one of the things I would ask staff to look at on the IT position is, you know, maybe we can work with a partnership always has interns every summer, and maybe we can start that as a part-time deal, and if we can find a winner, then we can always make them an offer to go as a, you know, because the best thing would be is get someone young that is on the latest technologies, right? And see, you hire seasonal help all the time. And we could do that possibly, and maybe that would be a way to approach that if you needed immediate assistance this year.
Well, one thing, so Stephanie and I have talked about that. The other thing that we're looking at is reaching out to both West Burlington and the county and their IT staff to see how we might be able to partner with them,
Yep.
at least in the short term.
Okay.
Right?
idea.
So,
My 5-year-old's a pretty good IT guy.
Did
bad.
does that give you an
Yes.
answer on that one?
Yeah.
Okay, next
Thank
one,
you.
please.
Thank
all right, so two smaller ones, and then I'll just open it for discussion before closing comments. So we'd had a conversation about the senior center and installing LED lighting in that facility. We've actually installed LED lighting in, I think, almost all of the city facilities at this time. Nick had that item placed in the CIP at $5,000. I felt it prudent to just go ahead and recommend that we get that done. We know that would help the current tenants in the building, maybe reduce some of their energy cost. So that is in the budget currently, it's just in the operating budget. And then the libraries,
Let me.
oh, yeah,
one at
okay,
a
if you want to
time.
hit that, yep.
Senior center, you all right with that, Tim?
Yeah, I just would not make a rush on it because of other conversations that we've had about possible relocation.
Sure.
And if we end up doing that and selling the building, then I don't think we need to make that investment right away.
You, with our, being our liaison, you have a sense in how quickly those conversations might take place?
Oh, yeah, haven't even started.
All right, so next meeting, maybe you can bring it up?
I'm going to bring it up at the next meeting.
All right.
yeah.
Okay,
So you want,
I'm glad you're doing that too.
Can we,
Any buildings we can get rid of, that's even better.
yeah, I
Right,
would
so,
love to.
yep.
Annie? So,
I don't know what to say now.
well, Tim's basically
Right.
waiting till the conversation. Can you always bring that back?
Well, again, it's in the budget.
Doesn't mean
Yeah,
we have
It
to
doesn't
spend
mean
it.
we have to spend it until we're ready to
All right.
move, right?
That's what I was
So,
saying, John.
Okay, well, I got you, okay.
Put it,
I-
leave it there, but don't get in
I-
a hurry to spend it.
I do have a kind of maybe a technical question, and if the answer is no, you don't need to come up and speak on it, but are we talking about a total replacement, or is it LED bulb retrofit?
Retrofit.
Well, it'd be like these.
Right, so you just change the bulbs.
Ballast.
Ballast
These went-
bypass.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Okay,
you're not changing.
that's it, that's all I wanted.
If it's these kind of fixtures, then yeah, it's a retro.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with Tim, okay?
I think anything to save energy is worth the money.
Okay. Okay,
Great, thank you.
now, the
And
next one?
we will have those conversations about what happens with that space too. So we have another building we're trying to. And then the last one is the library's management administrative computers. They are in their operating budget at $7,000. Again, that was a CIP item that I wanted to move to their operating budget just to get that taken care of as well. And it goes to just that ever-expanding IT field that is crazy. So we need to get that in there and get that done. So I put that in there. So anything on that?
Tim,
I'm glad he made that move. I mean,
Okay.
I think that's the right thing to do.
Annie,
Yeah, I think it's important to try to stay on top of it in some way.
ditto, okay? Good. Robert, okay.
Okay, thank you. Those were the only things on my list. I did leave a space for others. But just a couple of closing comments, and then I'll see if council has anything else that you wanted to touch on. So we will still have the work session, obviously, on Monday, February 9th. We can continue discussion. So anything else you want to talk about, let me know. Additional information you need to see. We can have the same budget line item, just open conversation. So you just need to let us know what that is. And then just in closing, the general fund is proposed again by June 30. It's forecasted June 30, fiscal 27, calendar 27, at 19.1%. So again, still meeting council policy of over 15%.
Okay.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Is there anything else council wants Mr. Byrd to take a look at?
We had a little bit of a conversation about seal coating and you mentioned possibly reducing,
I think we did reduce it for 20. Entirely. Yeah, okay, so it's out entirely. I'm gonna make sure I write that down.
Okay, anything else?
the seal coating is out completely.
For fiscal 27.
Nick's gonna come
Here
up,
comes
he's gotta get on the microphone.
Yep.
Well, otherwise people can't.
No, yeah, I get it.
Just in case, be prepared to shock me.
Yeah, so we were talking about the road use tax being over this fiscal year, and so there's a project with the West Burlington Avenue Bridge that we have that went up quite a bit, and so we talked about reducing out road use tax, and seal coat was one of those projects that we could forgo for a year and be okay. Rather than parcel it down into like a $150,000 project, we get better bang for our buck if we're bidding out a larger project, and it takes a little more work for our staff to do. So I would just recommend that we catch up next year, sort of thing, rather than try and follow up with a smaller project this year and then next year.
I'm all right with that, but council, just keep in mind, this was the approach that was used 25 years ago.
Slippery
And
slope.
they skipped it 1 year, and then they skipped it for 7 or 8 years. We got way behind on seal coating, and I've pushed that every year that I've been on council. I understand when you have a big project like that, that you, in rather weak, or road use tax would have to make a move like that, but we can't let it happen year after year.
We'll all be here next year, so
I mean,
you could
God
remind us of
willing.
that conversation for sure, right?
well,
It will be.
All
put it
right.
in our calendar.
You all right with that?
Yes,
Okay, me, I'm fine.
but I would agree.
Okay, anything else for Mr. Byrd to work on?
Okay,
All right. Thank you, staff, and thank you.
Thank you.
Chad,
Yes.
appreciate it.
Thank you all.
We're gonna go around the horn and get the last updates, and then we'll do an adjournment, hopefully. Eric?
Just a reminder, Shamrock Shuffle coming up. I think the deadline to get a shirt will be coming up as well, so if you're interested in getting a shirt, when you sign up, make sure you're doing that here in the next couple weeks also. We always try and push that as late as we can, but some of those suppliers need a little more time, so it should be a good time. I think we have 75 or 80 registrants so far, which is ahead of last year's pace, so encourage people to do that. City Academy is still open if you're interested in that. I think we have 9 or 10 applicants for that, so we're getting closer for that. But if you're interested, certainly fill out the application. And then I had an email, someone didn't see the sale of 421 South Marshall, so just wanted to reiterate that was $18,000 to Aaron Tolander, Black Mark, so I just didn't catch
Okay.
that, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see, Stephanie, anything from finance? Tim, anything from wastewater? Chief?
Nothing.
Chief?
Tell everybody you know, fire's still accepting applications.
Okay,
That's all I got, thanks.
all right. Katie, anything from clerk's office?
Nope.
Nick?
Yes, so you may have received city newsletter over the last week. I did want to bring attention, I gave direction for Amy to put it in the newsletter underneath the solid waste info. There is a section in there that calls out that citywide cleanup is going away and that we are moving towards a bulky item program. As Councilman Scott and the mayor remember, we had a conversation and we've had separate conversations about that. I didn't have details to put in here, like a phone number or what document to fill out. So I forwent putting detail in here, but I need to clear up that detail. And I will also be coming forward with policy here over the next week. So stay tuned to that. You'll be getting that detail soon.
Would you like us to have a discussion so you can help shape that? Because I feel like, I don't know, before you come
So
forward with like an
I'll
official proposal?
have quite a bit more detail come Monday
Right.
night.
Okay.
And if there's any commentary on that, I can make amendments.
Great, perfect.
Trust me, I know it was in there.
I bet you do.
I didn't get
Mr. Bird.
worried about it.
Is it my turn again already?
Yeah, your turn again already.
Yeah. All right. So just a couple of things real quick. I have, at his request, Travis Squires, our the city's financial advisor with Piper Sandler, has requested moving from February 9th to February 23rd. That still works within our timing. Remember, he comes and goes through our debt structure and our valuations and all of that type of information. He's got a family conflict on the 9th, so he asked to move to the 23rd. That should still be fine, I think. So, again, just a reminder, February 9th, next work session, we'll still have budget discussion. Southeast Iowa Days, Wednesday and Thursday, several of us will be at Southeast Iowa Days. It's an opportunity to showcase Southeast Iowa to the Iowa legislature. So we will have meetings with several state-level department heads, and then additional meetings with both senators and representatives over the course of the 2 days. I am meeting with a couple of high-ranking House members with a small group. City manager from Keokuk and the mayor from Mount Pleasant and I are meeting with a couple of folks. And what I want to do is be able to give very specific information about some of the information from the three proposed property tax reform bills, how they will impact Burlington. And I know my counterpart in Keokuk will do the same, and the mayor from Mount Pleasant will do the same as well. One piece of information that I wanted to share, and this actually came from Piper Sandler in relation to just kind of what the city's tax revenues have done over the last 10 years. When you look at, because a lot of the rhetoric is out-of-control spending, and I have another document here that really shows that it's more of a matter of cost containment and not out-of-control spending. But the city's general fund over the last 10 years has, on average, grew 1.3%. The city's general fund with employee benefits has grown at, on average, 1.9%. And all of those things, the city general fund with benefits and debt service levy, on average over the last 10 years, has grown at exactly 2%, which is one of the bills is proposing that cap. So what that tells me is that the city's year-over-year tax revenue is right in line with where everybody thinks right now it should be. Or if you're looking at just some parts and pieces of it, less than what everybody thinks it should be. And then when we talk about cost, so I'll share some of that information. So when we talk about cost containment, just looking at excess work comp expense, and that's our stopgap insurance. In 2019, the city paid $52,000 for that year for insurance. In 2026, the city paid $268,000 for that insurance. So there are cost issues that drive a lot of municipal budgets. So with that, that's a lot of words for me, so thank you.
Thanks for
Go
the
get 'em.
great uplifting.
Okay, Tim, anything else tonight?
Can't top that one.
Okay. Annie,
I've got nothing, thank you.
Robert?
Yeah, I heard of Will Smith's passing today. If you didn't know him, he was a reporter from the Beacon, previously with the Hawkeye. Sometimes did radio spots. He would show up during our debates. He was at the library when we had, during the election cycle. A real good guy, and he's going to be missed. And I just want his family to know I'm thinking of him, and I really appreciated all the things he did over the years.
He's a great guy, ditto. Okay? Do you have anything? Rounding back to you, PT, sorry.
Oh, should I say something?
No.
Like, this is the
You
second
don't
time.
have to. I was just
Okay.
offering to give you a last chance as PT. I don't have anything. I will echo Robert's thoughts about Will. You know, he's just a great guy. I worked with him, and always enjoyed talking to him about various things, so he will be missed. I hate that we're all getting older and we have these issues, but with that, I would accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Weiss,
Yes.
Wilson,
Aye.
Phillips.